Okay, hi, this is Will, and I've gone through and I've made all these videos with the HMI, and we've also made videos for all the different functions for the PLC. So now I was thinking, and I'm just going to describe this project, what we're going to do. I'm not going to do it right now, and it's probably going to be about, I don't know, maybe 4, maybe 5 videos, including this one. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a project from scratch. So we're going to have a blank screen and we're going to try to add all the functions in it. So we're going to use all these functions, normally open, normally close, which we use all the time. We're going to put in edge contacts, compares. We use the output coils. We use timers, counters. Well, the drum is kind of by itself, and math, I don't know. But we'll use the copy. And, well, the send is pretty much if we're in the linear actuator or not. But the idea here is we're going to set up an entire program and with the HMI. And what we're going to do is, we had, if you remember or if you watched the video for the sealant circuits, we just had a little sealant circuit for this garage door. And all it does is open the garage and close the garage door. But at the time when we did that, and we showed just how we use sealant circuits, but we also had some other functions that we talked about implementing, but we never did, and we said maybe you can do it as further exercise. I kind of decided after thinking for a while that I would do it as the exercise and just show how to develop the code for it and then to develop the HMI for it. And so it'll be a full HMI. And one of the things that we kind of left open at the time was if the door is going open and somebody hits closed, what do we do? And I thought about it, and if it's going open and somebody suddenly hits closed, it should just stop. It should neither go up and down. If they wanted to actually go down, if they made a mistake and said, well, I don't really want to go up, you can hit it once to stop it, and then hit it a second time to close it. So it'll be 2 distinct events. So that was one thing. And then another thing we said was, well, what happens if well, this is a Jeep, it looks like. So what happens if our Jeep is halfway through here when we're trying to close it, and the door will actually hit the Jeep and it'll never close. And should we have a circuit in there that'll monitor how long it'll take? And yeah, we can do that. And if it never gets to the closed limit, we can call that a fault, and we just shut off the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to use timers to time how fast it goes up and how fast it goes down. So if it exceeds a certain time, we'll say, well, that's a fault and we need to do something about it. So we'll use that for timers. We'll have visualization for our buttons and for our open limits and closed limits. And because we have the HMI, when we initially did this, we ran into problems where we don't have, and we've always had problems where we don't have enough push buttons. On our control panel we have a start, we have a stop, and we have a reset, and we're kind of limited with 3. When we go to the HMI, instead of this being an X bit, we can wire that into a C bit, and we can simulate the function. So if we're going up with the door, we might have a timer hooked to it, and you can do these simulations just with timers and counters, and that's kind of the whole point is try to create your own projects and develop some of these simulations, and then when you can show it on the HMI, it really helps you out to visualize what's going on. But we can use timers. So if it if it opens within 15 seconds, we'll go to the open limit. Now, if it takes 30 seconds for whatever reason, we'll say that's a fault. It's not really working, and more than that, it would be when it's closed. And so we'll have timers involved. I think we'll have counter circuits, so we can actually count the number of cycles that it actually goes fully open and fully closed. So when it goes all the way open and then all the way closed, we'll count that as 1 cycle. So we'll have timers in there. We'll have counters. We'll probably use data registers to control how fast or how slow it goes up and down. So we're going to try to use as many of the functions that we have in our PLC programming. So we're going to use as many functions as we've gone through, in this whole exercise and manual stuff, we are not going to address the set resets. We don't like using them. We don't use the shift register. Again, we're not really showing off the drum sequencer, although if you develop it with the ladder logic, you can try it out with drum sequencer. I'm sure it'll work. You just have to give it a little thought, and that would be a good exercise also. So that's kind of the overview of what we're going to do. Again, we're going to try to take this and we're going to put on the HMI, and we're going to see how many functions that we can implement in this. It is a small project, but we're going to put additional functions. We're going to have some of these things that we can configure, and we'll give it some nice visualizations for the door, actually showing it going up and showing it go down, and we'll go and see what we come up with. So next time out, we're just going to start, and the next time, the baseline is we have to start with the blank sheet of paper and start writing our code. And once we write the code and we can simulate it working, once we have a good idea that, yeah, that's what we want to do and this is how we want to do it, then we can start moving over to the HMI and get the visualization and then like fully integrate it. Now, up till now we had been using the Ethernet pretty much exclusively on this, but I think what I want to do for this HMI and for this whole code is I am going to use the serial interface. Just because I finally used it and figured out that it's very easy to use, but also we haven't shown you how to tie the Click PLC into the Wonderware HMI using the serial interface, and it's a little different than the Ethernet interface, but it's simple. Once you get it once, you'll have it down pat. So that's just the introduction for what we're going to do for the final project, and it would be good. It would be good to not just copy blindly. Well, you can kind of copy the code, but really for the HMI, you want to make your own screen. You want to, as I always tell my students, is you can and should do better than I do. Hopefully, you've got a little more creativity. That shouldn't be too difficult. So next time out, we're going to start and looking at some of our code, and we'll also talk about why we have some of these functions where we do and what they actually do for us. So next time out, we'll be looking at our final project, which again is going to be the garage door opener, and we'll see how that goes. So see you then. Thanks. Bye.